Welcome, 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 everyone. Uh, Welcome to the stream. Today's stream is going to be called Battle of the Gods. We're going to be talking about the new event that's about to happen this Sunday, called in the Osiris Invitational. Super exciting event. Lots of big names, big teams, all kind of clashing for 4 weeks straight to see who reigns supreme. On one side, we have Team Horus, which is kind of the old guard, older kingdoms. Super exciting. Lots of well known alliances in there. We're going to kind of go through those as well as we go through these quick talk show, but hopefully super informative and engaging. So then we also have on the opposition, we have Team Anubis. Those are the up and coming kingdoms, younger, uh, but learning very quickly. So we're very excited to be chatting with them and getting to know them. And without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Anthony. I am the founder of the Bulbaritos community. Uh, we designed and developed the community for entrepreneurs, creatives, and gamers to be able to come together and enjoy each other. So, meet, play games, basically hang out with each other and just form a really cool community where you can come and chill on Fridays, have some drinks. If y'all can't tell already, have some drinks, um, and just have a good time. All right. So before we get started, I'm gonna turn on some music. That way we can have something rolling in the background, and then we'll kind of get started with the talk show. All right. All right, all right. Let's see. First off, let me thank some subscribers that we got to the channel when we were offline. So, Jason Brody and Stefanos, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. We appreciate everything that y'all contribute. I'm going to drop a couple links in our chat. If you are interested, uh, feel free to join our community. Our Discord is very lighthearted. We post memes and content and do stuff like that. So that way y'all have the kind of the ins and outs of what's going on in Rise of Kingdoms, as well as other things that we're doing as a community out in public or in Call of Duty and stuff like that. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely join our Discord and you can subscribe to our channel, and we'd love to have you. All right. So without further ado, give me 1 second. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the talk show. All right. So we're working on, sorry. All right, there you go. So we're going to be working hopefully in the future with a couple of other creators to kind of have it more engaging and build it on. If you're interested in joining or participating in stuff like that, let me know. Jump on our Discord and we can definitely follow it up. Okay, so here we go. Without further ado, we're going to start with our leaderboard. So right now I know it's empty, but as we go through the month, we're going to start updating this and kind of moving it around. That way y'all can see who's doing what, who's really, winning. That's kind of what we're all here for, to see who's going to reign supreme on this icon right here. That way I'll explain it. This icon right here is the Horus symbol. So these are the Horus teams. They're older kingdoms. So we have HKL. They are our season 2 League of Osiris champions for season 2. We also have JWM and JWM2, very well-known alliances. Amazing people in those alliances. If you don't know them already, you should definitely reach out to them. You know, they're all over the place and they're very well known. So they're always in the top 4. They were in the top 4 because they made it into the Osiris Invitational. For those of y'all who aren't familiar with the Osiris Invitational, the top 4 teams from Team Horus and Team Anubis from last season of Osiris League were the only ones invited to this. So these are your top 4 for last season of the Osiris League. And then we have our season 1 champion for season 1 in Team Horus, which is OV. Very, very well-known team as well. And then we get to our Anubis teams. So I'm excited to start diving into the Anubis teams and kind of mingling with those teams as well. Because they're new. You know, a lot of players we haven't heard of, but very powerful. And we'll dive into that as well. And it's just an exciting time, you know, for new players to come in, new teams that we haven't heard of or might not have heard of. 411K was actually the champion last season in Osiris League in the Anubis realm. So we are really excited for 411K. They're a phenomenal team, super stacked, lots of power, lots of cohesion, very good team that works well together. Then we have FN, we have NBA 1, and NCB. These are all really good alliances, very cool people, and have a lot of strong power. So a lot of powerful people. So we're really excited to see kind of the matchups, and we're gonna dive into those in a little bit. The matchups are gonna be occurring this week. We're gonna be talking about our match of the week that we're gonna be casting. Should be a doozy. I know it's kind of a surprise match that some people kind of see and some don't. So we're gonna really highlight that and some players to check out, you know, the players that are in the match themselves, and really kind of drive it home as to, you know, how exciting and the kinds of things you can look forward to in the Osiris Invitational. All right, so for our match of the week, and this is something that I thought very carefully on based on the teams and what's going on this week, and I kind of think that it's a sleeper. So for this week's match, we are going to be covering the JWM2 versus 411K match. And with that in mind, we reached out to these teams, kind of got a feel of who they thought their MVP player was during the Osiris League, and wanted to really highlight them. So without further ado, we're going to touch on the JWM2 MVP player that was voted by a couple of their alliance members, and we're going to highlight them. All right, so without further ado, here we go. So for JWM2, it is just B. There were several members that elected him. He was very, very good last Osiris League for JWM2. They made it into top 4, narrowly losing. And here are his stats. You know, they're pretty stacked in both JWM and JWM2, but 111 million power, over 150 million kills. Deads, he has 3,500,000. And the civilization, I just highlighted the civilization that way for new members who are just joining the game. You can kind of get a feel of what civilizations these members are actually using in order to get where they're at. So it's pretty exciting. So with that being said, I'm gonna switch over, and now we're gonna highlight the other MVP for the Anubis Kingdom. It's actually going to be Akai. So this guy, when I saw his stats, I was pretty blown away. So 104 million power, 260 million kills. And for those of y'all who've played this game long enough, you understand, like, kills are pretty, you know, pretty substantial. They used to be harder to come by, and you really had to earn it with rallies and really driving it home. So his kill stats are pretty amazing. 7 million deads, And while it might not seem like a lot to a lot of people, that is a tremendous amount of deads. Because what that's showing is that's showing his willingness to fill flags, really help the Alliance win events, KVKs, all those kinds of deals. So it's pretty exciting, So those are our two big players. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to compare the two. That way y'all can see a side by side and really drive home, what we're going to be looking forward to. So with those two side by side, you can really see how it stacks up. They both have tremendous stats as well. Putting them side by side, they still serve the same thing. They're both lane leaders. Akai is a lane leader. Just B, I'm not quite sure on, but I know that he does play a huge role in the lanes that he actually participates in. So that was the main reason why they wanted to highlight him as well, was for his efforts and his contributions within the last couple of Osiris leagues. So the main reason I wanted to highlight this match is not just because it's JWM2. That team is very, very new. So they assembled the team right before Osiris League Season 2. So in the Horus realm, we've already had 2 seasons of Osiris League. The first season, OV won, and they were the champions, and they beat JWM. And in Season 2, we had HKL going up against JWM. So JWM2 formed an awesome alliance. They've got an amazing group of people that we're going to highlight in a minute. And they blew everyone away. I'm not even sure if they knew that they were going to make it into top 4, but amazingly, they dominated in a lot of aspects of the matches, which is the reason why I highlighted Richard in JWM2. If for those of y'all, which I'm assuming most of y'all already know, Gecko Gaming really drove home with his videos, and I can link them later in the comments below, the impact that Richard had on their garrisons for buildings, and it really helped to solidify them as a top 4 team in the Osiris League Season 2. On the other hand, Akai, and if I'm butchering your name, I'm so sorry. Akai, it was their first Osiris League season, so they really meshed well as a team. They got highlighted by Lilith on the Rise of Kingdoms channel for their championship game. They really shined with their teamwork and all the amazing people that contributed to that Osiris League as well. So really wanted to highlight these two guys. For those of y'all for future matches, if there's people that you really want to highlight, let me know. Contact me on Discord, in game, and we can make that happen. All right, so this is probably the one thing that a lot of people wanted to see. Was how the teams stacked up next to each other. So what I did was, and y'all will actually like this. So I'm gonna leave this on the screen for a little bit. We can kind of talk a little bit about the teams, how they stack up, stuff like that. And if y'all have questions, definitely post them in the chat. I would love to answer any questions y'all have and stuff like that. Okay. So for Horus, JWM2, y'all will already see that there's a ton of power. Most alliances don't see power like this. So that should tell you a lot, that their lowest power player is 84 million power. And that was after they just came out of a KVK where I know a lot of them lost power. So that should tell you a lot too. So their lanes are pretty stacked. Now with the Osiris Invitational, commanders aren't necessarily, because they're making them even across the board. That kind of helps both teams. So there really is no advantage commander wise. And once you're over 80 million power, troops really isn't, an issue. So both teams are going to benefit from that aspect, as well as the rules and certain things that they're allowing through the game, such as max commanders across the board, So everybody's going to be running with Attila Takeda all over the place. How exciting. We're super excited for that. But yeah, no, they're a tremendous team, which was very surprising because they were so new. So they were learning on the fly, you know, building their cohesion on the fly week by week and surprising a lot of people. So I'm excited to see how they're going to do it against Anubis, which, as y'all can see, 411K is equally stacked. They're slightly underpowered by a little bit. It's expected because they are a younger kingdom, but they still stack up very, very well against them. Because even their lowest power player at 62 is going to be well off, because one of the things that Lilith is giving is 2 million extra T5 on top. So the 62 is going to be closer to 65, 67. So that kind of balances out the uneven power as well as the commanders, stuff like that. So power, not necessarily that big of a deal, especially kind of the main draw point for having more power is whether you're going to have to heal your troops. So once you get to this kind of power, more often than not, you have over 3 million troops, closer to 5 million troops. And with that being said, you normally won't have to heal any troops, which is good. Because for those of y'all who know, healing troops during Ark of Osiris is never a fun deal to get stuck with. So, yeah, here are the two teams. I'm going to leave them up for just a little bit. That way y'all can kind of check them out, see who the players are. I want to already drop a apology. Some of the characters for the Chinese names don't actually translate in Adobe. So there are a couple that are missing a character. So my apologies, but know that I tried my best to get it up there for y'all. But, you know, that's what we're working with. All right. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our game screen. We're going to check out the matchups for the weekend. And then we're going to kind of give our predictions, what we think is going to happen, and go from there. And like I said, if y'all want to post your predictions in the chat, we'd love to hear what your guesses are. I know Lilith is going to be running some sort of competition for it, so that's pretty exciting. And then, yeah, we may end up doing something like that in the future as well. Let me know if that's something, you know, post it in the comments below if that's something that y'all may actually consider wanting to do. And if so, then I'll build it out and then we can have a little competition between the community. All right. So let's switch over to our game screen. All right, let's go to Osiris Invitational. And I know there's plenty of videos that are on this. So let's go to matches. All right, round one. Rumble. All right, so here are our matches for week 1, Sunday. HKL versus FN, 411K versus JWM2, NBA 1 versus JWM, and NCB versus OB. So all these matches are going to be phenomenal matches. The main reason why I chose 411K and JWM2 is because out of all these matches, the one that I really think that Anubis stacks up well against is 411K and JWM2. On one side, on Anubis, you have the champions of, you know, their Ark of Osiris, of the Osiris League, Season 1. So you have 411K champions, Osiris League, Season 1 for the Anubis realm. And then JWM2, which is a very high-powered, oiled, you know, a very well-oiled machine. They have very powerful players, the commanders, all that really stacks up. Very organized. They go through practices, commander builds. They really are very detail-oriented, which is the reason they are a very good team. So the reason I chose it is because out of all those matches, I think this match is probably going to come down to the very last. it's going to come down to the very last couple of minutes, or it's going to come down to that one art capture that's going to happen at the very, very end, or it's going to be a crazy match. That's the reason why I really, really wanted to see it. So JWM, I think, will dominate. I think they barely lost. Thank you, baby. Cheers. Here, so y'all can enjoy it. Okay. Sorry about that. So MB1 or NBA 1, JWM. I have JWM taking that one pretty handily. I think JWM is one of those squads that if they show up on the right day with the right mentality, that kind of stuff, it's very, very hard to beat them. They've played together, you know, almost every single match. Arc of Osiris, regular matches, Osiris League. They play and practice everything with the same group every time without fail. And that cohesion you just can't build without time. So they really have that on their side. OV versus NCB is another one that I would toss up. OV is an awesome team. They fell a little short last Osiris League, Season 2 and Horse Realm. Fell a little bit short. They were very close. But I after seeing NCB play a couple matches, they really do have their stuff down. So that one should be a close match. I actually have NCB winning that match as a surprise. So this week I actually have the matches going 2-2. So I know a lot of people have 3-1s going across, and their surprise match for the week has been 411K. So my match predictions for this week, I'm actually going to have HKL winning the first match of the Osiris Invitational. I have 411K narrowly winning. And when I mean narrowly, I mean, I think it's going to be under 1,000 points. I think it's going to be that close. I think it's going to be one of those last arc pulling provisions. Well, my cam decided to stop working, so that's awesome. Let me just take this off and then I'll keep talking. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Then from there, I have JWM winning fairly easily. Nothing against NBA 1. I just think it's going to be somewhere around the 5 to 6K point difference. And then our last match, I have NCB beating OV. Those are my winners for the week. So we got HKL, 411K, JWM, and NCB. So let me know who y'all have winning in the comments below. And I'm definitely excited to see that. Also in the comments, if y'all don't mind, for next week, let me know which match y'all actually want to see. If y'all want me to cast a certain match, let me know. And then we can kind of go from there on voting and doing that. But next week's matches should be fairly exciting as well. So, all right, let's move back just a little bit. I don't want to go too much into the rules and that kind of stuff just because I know there's a ton of videos out there. The first match is going to be starting at 13 UTC. So we're going to try to get up for that one. It's fairly early for us. I think it's like 6 or 7 in the morning, my time. But I am going to try to get up so that we can do that match. And then all the other 3, interesting enough, are going to be at 1500 UTC. So keep an eye. There are going to be multi-streams going out, but we are planning on streaming the 411K and JWM2 match. There we go. Came back. Let's see how long it stays on. Oh, I think I froze. Oh no. Give me 1 second. Let me see if this fixes. Well, we might be frozen, guys. All right, let's see. All right, so we're going to go through just a couple things. So this event is going to be for a month. It is a month long. And at the very end, the champions will be decided by whoever has the most points. So a victory will give you 1 point. A loss will give you no points. So each match will count as 1 point for whichever side wins. And at the very end, the winner will get some awesome rewards. Let's check those out. I think you're under here. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the victory rewards. Let me just take the cam off because I think it's just frozen. Okay. So the victory rewards get an awesome city skin. We'll check out what that skin looks like here in a second. You get a couple of awesome other things as well as a statue. And for the losers, you still get something, but you know, it's one of those things. So let's go check out this city skin, see how it looks. Oh, I think it was the Mayan one. Let me see real quick. I think it was the Mayan one. Yeah, Mayan mystery. All right, let's go see what stats it has on it. Kind of dive in there, see if it's worth getting. All right, let's see, which one are you? Mayan mystery. So healing speed 3%, infantry defense 10%, and cavalry attack 10%. So this is awesome if you are an infantry specific player. That 3% also helps with the healing as well, which is pretty cool. Let's see what it looks like. That's during the day. Okay, that's pretty cool. Fire. All right, let's see. Fire, fire. All right. Osiris Invitational. Okay. So like I said, we went through players to watch for both sides. JWM2, just to recap everything. JWM2 is just B. So keep an eye on him if you're going to be watching the match. For 411K, we had it Kai. So keep an eye on him during the match as well. So y'all can see if they're going to engage in some fights, some open field fighting. Let me know. Remember, let me know who y'all think is going to win the match in the comments below. I'm excited to actually see what y'all think is going to happen. It's going to be happening at 15 UTC this coming Sunday. Should be an awesome day filled with tons of battles, tons of fights, and amazing finishes. So without further ado, I'm going to sign off for this talk show. We'll hopefully have more to talk about next week once we get some matches rolling. Don't forget to drop into our Discord if that's something you're interested in. Subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing if you love this kind of content. We are going to be rolling out some other Bulbaritos specific community events for Rise of Kingdoms within the next month and a half. So if you want to be able to participate in those kinds of deals, we'd love to have you. Jump on our Discord, subscribe to our channel. And with that being said, we look forward to meeting y'all and talking with y'all on Sunday. Make sure we'll see y'all then. All right. Y'all have a great night, guys. Bulbaritos out.